Whoa, mood. So I wanted to talk about this whole trend of the soft girl era. And it's this soft life. When you wake up at 5 a.m., you light a scented candle, you have your ceramic mug that is next to you that you're drinking your morning coffee with, you're writing in your journal, you're doing all of these things. It's a whole ritual. It doesn't even become something that is natural. It's as though you have a to-do list and you're trying to follow this to-do list. And if you're not going to do it, your day is going to be ruined. It became this sense of performance. Like, it's not something that innate that comes out of you. Like, I don't know, sometimes you wake up and you just want to lay there. You wake up and you just want to listen to some music. It became a sort of brand by itself, that these girls with almond nails and they go to Pilates, they drink matchas and coffees, cashmere cozy dress code. It's just a lot. Soft life by itself, there's nothing soft about it anymore. It just became another source of consumerism, because you think about it. If you want to become this soft girl, or you see on your social media, there's a lot of girls that are posting their rituals. They have this certain coffee that they're drinking. They have this certain 10-step skin routine that is sometimes unnecessary. Who has those funds to be having 10 or 20 steps skincare routine? It just became another trend to buy. It did not become something that is internally what you want to do. It's you looking at other people and you say to yourself, I want that. I want it. I want to buy it. I want to have it. And yet again, it's a want. It's not even a need. Is it something that is a need, a necessity for you to be thriving in general? I most certainly don't think so. My skincare routine, I just have a moisturizer. And on an occasion, I do a face mask. Whoa, I do a face mask. And that's pretty much it. I'm fine. I live. I save myself not only time, but also save myself money and the stress to be able to apply this. The amount of time that you need in general to be applying all of those. No wonder these people are waking up at 5 a.m. to be completing all of the tasks that they have created for themselves. Like, they are making their lives harder. For what? For your own contentment? For how long are you going to be able to keep that up before you burn out? Think about it. And another point, soft life became not just being soft, but looking soft. Instead, it's the looks, it's the aesthetics. Some people are posting on social media that they do all of these things, but behind the cameras, they're probably not following this on a daily basis. They say it's my daily routine, but who are we kidding? A lot of these people do it to prove themselves in some way. They want some validation in some kind of way. Yes, it's great to look at. Yes, if we're looking at it and seeing all of those people on social media that are posting it, and it's a guilty pleasure of mine to be looking at those posts of people and be like, man, I want to be like that. Yes, I am also falling into the trap. Am I acting towards it? Am I acting upon it? No. I even tried myself, to wake up early, 6-7 a.m. and the day before I would write myself a to-do list, how my morning routine is going to look like. I did it for a day. It brought me stress. When I was doing this experiment on myself, I just found it to be stressful to be completing all of those things in the time frame. It feels rushed. You're not giving yourself the time to actually absorb what you're doing, to actually enjoy it. You are pushing yourself to do it because you said you need to do it. You have convinced yourself that this is going to be good for me. But it worked for other people. Why do you think that something that worked for them will work for you? But also at the same time, whenever you're looking at those videos and you're just asking yourself, why can't I relax like they do? Why do I need to feel that I earned this time off? I feel worse afterwards because I feel like I wasted my time on something that is personally unnecessary. And you just come to this idea, when you're no longer distracted by doing, you are confronted by being. That's really interesting. We are constantly trying to do something in our day, trying to be better, trying to make something of the day, to live our life to the fullest, and not taking into account that it's okay just to sit and relax, just to sit and be. We write all of these to-do lists, yet forgetting to include the times of rest. We do all these things that we have to do, and yet there is nowhere to be seen to be like, hey, from this time you can just chillax, bro. There is no need for you to be rushing things. But no, when it comes to a soft girl, she's doing everything and so effortlessly. She's not baffled by any sort of inconveniences. She handles it all so well. How do you do that? I grew up to be strong. My dad, I am pretty sure he wanted me to be a guy. He was putting me in some situations to resolve the problems and to make sure that I handled it. And that's when I realized constantly everyone in my household, like my dad and my mom, were constantly doing something. My mom, every single day, house chores. The moment she wakes up, she's cleaning the kitchen, she's taking the clothes to wash, she's taking the clothes from the dryer. She just constantly was doing something. And then when she would lay down, she would say, I am anxious because I am not doing anything and I should be doing something. There was no softness in that. And when I was growing up in this environment, I had this feeling that I constantly having to be doing something. When I was not doing something, of course I was being told, why are you not doing anything? Why are you just sitting? Why are you relaxing? And now I grow up, whenever I try to sit down and just be with myself, not doing anything, I feel anxious because I feel like I am doing something wrong. It's interesting thought that I came across. I don't chase dreams, but I run from stillness. I cannot sit still. And that brings back to the fact that how I was raised and how the external environment have affected the way that I was thinking and the way that I was projecting onto the world, right? And how I started to behave. This is when I start to ask myself, what is my dream? What dream would I be chasing? What was the dream that I was trying to chase when I was younger? And the dream that I was trying to chase when I was younger is to be an actress. But then life circumstances happened. I gave up all of that. It was not feasible for me to be doing, right? So I changed that dream. With the years progressing, I'm not sure anymore what's the dream that I'm trying to chase. Then I sat down and I thought to myself, and this is the reason that I started to upload videos and create content. I wanted to share my life. I wanted to share my opinion. I wanted to share my take on things. I wanted to share the way that I see the world. Because I feel like the way that we see the world is very different from one another. I find it so intriguing why all those reality TVs are being so attractive to us is the fact that we see opinions of other people, of how they think, what they would do. And this is the reason that I wanted to start with all of this. I wanted to share, but then I still run from stillness. Not being able to just be with myself and needing to constantly do something, needed to constantly figure out what's the next move, what's the next move, what's the next move, what I'm gonna do next. And if I'm not gonna do next, I'm gonna be pressured from sides of, for example, the family. They're going to be asking, what are you doing? And if you know that you are doing, and if you know that based on your personal pace, you are achieving what you think is good for you, what you think is good for your mental health, and what you think that is not going to burn you out, I think that's enough. It's because you are setting those limits for yourself, and you are the one that is understanding yourself much better than anyone else that is around you. Yes, even that can be sometimes it's your family, but they don't know the 100% of your life. They don't know 100% of your emotions. What you're going through, what are your desires. You can even name them out. It might misalign with their outlook on how they wanted their child to be or how they wanted their child to act. But you should care of what you're doing because that's what defines you. Because that's when you know that's good for you. So then we're coming back to what would softness look like to me if it was not through the influencer's lens. None of that candles, journaling, reading not for pleasure but because you have to, all those things. Candles, I love candles. I adore candles. They're great. Great source of making sure that your room smells nice, sets the mood, but at the same time, is it necessary? No, you can have a lamp that is going to be there and working for you for the next 3 years. Candles can be lit. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be doing it. If you like it, if it's something that makes you more productive, if it sets the mood, sure, go ahead, do it. Not for me. Mood. Journaling, I found myself journaling only when I'm feeling bad. I am not that type of person that is going to sit down and be journaling on a daily basis. When everything is great, when everything is fine, when I don't have anything to say, I'm not going to be repeating myself on a daily basis for what I'm grateful for. I can say that aloud. I don't have to be writing it down. You write it once, you write it twice, but the third time becomes daunting. It's not something that you do on a daily basis. For some people, journaling is something that it's a part of their daily ritual and they have to do it to feel better throughout the day. Then there is also letting myself do nothing and not needing to label it as self-care. Right now on social media, there are so many people that because you're not doing anything during your day and you're just letting yourself relax, it's called self-care day. You don't have to call it self-care day. You just can be doing nothing and staring into the wall or just sitting in a park. You don't have to call it self-care day. What's so soft about that? Softness, as we have branded already, that it comes with all these type of rituals that should be coming in with it. That's not what I want. I want it to be literally nothing. The next point is trusting time. Time is something so abstract. It is something so difficult to comprehend sometimes because some people at 20 years old are already further in life than someone that is in their 40s. And someone that is in their 40s is only starting their life. Trusting time is very difficult because you don't know when it's going to be good for you. You don't know when you're going to be satisfied because we're born to want more constantly. When we reach a certain goal, we look for the next one because we are thirsty for the next thing. Being able to trust time is being able to be content with yourself and being able to trust yourself that, hey, what you're doing right now is going to come out the way that you want it because you are putting the effort, because you are thinking about yourself. Because nobody else is going to be doing the work that you're supposed to be doing, right? So as long as you're being honest with yourself, physically trying to improve at what you're doing, doesn't matter what it is. But as long as you're putting a little bit of effort, even if it's just like 10%, you know that you've done something. You didn't just neglect it. That's kind of softness to me because you're allowing yourself to trust yourself. And then, I actually started to ask myself, do I want peace or do I like the idea of it? Peace requires self-confrontation. And hear me out. So it is all the internal turmoil. It affects the way that you live on a day-to-day basis. If you have anxiety, if you cannot sit still, if you cannot be with boredom, and if you cannot acknowledge the fact that you can just exist, this will be haunting you down. You will not have peace. You can be living in a peaceful environment. You can have your own home. You can have money, good health, good relations with your friends and family. But if inside you are not content with one thing or another, you will never be able to find peace with it. Let me give an example to you. How many times when you are not at ease with yourself and feel anxious and feel that something is wrong when you're being still and not doing is the external factor rather than the internal factor? Sometimes, yes, it can be the pressure from outside, a deadline, some certain chores that have to be done because you are taking care of yourself. You're taking care of the household. That means you're taking care of yourself. However, how many times truly it is the issue that doesn't let you have peace? You know that you will be able to complete those tasks. You know that you will be able to do just fine. But how many times is the internal feeling of not being able to be peaceful with yourself, with all of those worries and anxieties that you think about, that you can't get your head around how to get yourself to feel better? So this is when you need to realize that in order for you to feel peaceful, you need to confront your ego and your internal feelings to work out the past that made you the way that you are right now. Because As we previously have talked about, that the past builds us. And with this, I realized that I crave gentleness and softness, but unfortunately, I associate it with weakness. Whenever you're looking at the image of a woman that is all gentle, having their ritual, their morning routine, they're untouchable, you see it as a little bit that they're weak in a way. Yes, there is a certain side of empowerment that you can be so much at peace with yourself. But also at the same time, I view it as something that is not concrete, and I don't like that idea of it. And that's not peaceful to me, because internally what I think is that when you're this gentle, you cannot be firm. Do I actually want peace, or do I like the idea of it? I would say I like the idea of it. It's so much work that have to be put in. There's so much analysis that you have to do within yourself to be able to find that inner peace. I like the idea of it because you can look at it, you can look at all of these people, the picture perfect morning, the picture perfect life of gentleness, and maybe you can learn from it a little bit. But it shouldn't be an idol of your morning routine, of your work life. It will not fit sometimes to the circumstances. If it comes to circumstances that you have to be firm, are you gonna come in and be all gentle about it? No, you're going to stand your ground. And your gentleness, your softness is out of the window. You can be both. You need to learn that at times you can be soft, but also when it's needed, you can be intense. In an argument where you're trying to defend yourself, in a project that you're passionately involved in, that you're putting all of your work in. If you're being gentle and soft, you're going to put in the work, but you're going to do it not in a pace that it should be. It's supposed, when we're thinking about passion, when we're thinking about producing something, it's something that is so eager and there's so much energy into it, you have to put into it. So you can be both. You can be driven and you can be self-loving. You can be ambitious and restful at the same time. And you just need to find this balance within you. And what you need to do is stop proving, because nobody cares. As long as you're doing what's need to be done, that's enough. Think about it. What would your day look like if you didn't have to prove anything to anyone? What would you do? And that comes with the idea that when you're trying to prove yourself to someone, not to yourself, when you're trying to prove to yourself, you understand your limits. But when it comes to other people, they don't know about your limits. They don't know what's enough for you, what works for you. Because if you're trying to prove to someone else, that's when the anxiety comes. That's when you start to think, oh, I don't think I'm gonna be good enough. I don't think this is going to prove my worth. I don't think that people will like it. That's where all the anxiety comes from all of the little side hustles that you're doing. And that comes from the trend of soft girl era. When you're trying to post a video where your life is all put up together and you have this beautiful routine and it doesn't go up to the standard that everyone has set up so high, then you are going to feel anxiety. We are giving ourselves another reason to be worried about. And I don't think that's okay. And the truth is, I want the soft life, but not the version that is being sold to me on social media that is in muted colored palettes, because it's unrealistic. Life is full of colors. I want the one that holds me when I crash, the one that lets me be complex, because you can be waking up a certain hour of the day. You can be reading 2 books by the end of the afternoon, but that's good for you. And I don't think that's good for me. So choose your own type of good and type of soft when you have to be. Let yourself be still. Sometimes in stillness, you can find your motivation. You can find a new way that you can approach a problem, a new way that you can approach life. Let yourself be for once for yourself and stop performing for an audience because you yourself struggle to keep up with your own routine that you think is good for you. Find your innate routine, even if it's messy, unorganized, unorthodox, and maybe uninspiring for other people. But if it works for you, that's all that matters. So just let yourself be. Find out what works for you. It's great to look for inspirations. It's great to look for new ways to do things, but don't let that define you and make you feel bad for the way that you live your life. That's when you know that you're thriving, and that's when you know that you're willing to tackle the day. And you were with me, Lilith Dweller, and I don't know. I just dwell here.